welcome to the J3 Operations Campaign 2.0 overview. Now, you may have heard a few tidbits here and there about the new campaign system from whoever, but I am going to basically break it down to everybody so they can see it and see the changes that are coming ahead and, get everybody on the same page ultimately overall. So, as I go through everything, I'll kind of narrate it out and kind of explain things as we go along here. So, the first thing you're really going to notice is the fact that I have a few different menus. The ones we're really going to focus on right now are going to be the command and staff and basically the Intel uplink one. Now, what these are used for is, to plug in real-time information that we do on the ground or actions we do on the ground into like a centralized location. That way everybody's on the same page, and we can kind of create a persistent, world going from mission to mission and keep it so, it's more or less seamless and, more engaging and immersive overall. We're looking to make it, feel like you're there. So what I'll do is I'll basically explain what the talk is. This is going to be where all the magic happens for the new campaign system, more or less. And your unit command will have access to this, like your, NCOICs, platoon leaders, company commanders, things of that nature, obviously. So we'll go ahead and hop in there, but I am going to show you the Intel uplink area first. Now, who has access to this is any J2 Intel analysts, mission designers and stuff like that, so they will also have access to all this, and this is to update the units on the ground for any kind of pertinent intel to drive the story or operation, missions, whatever it may be, as well as basically kind of see what units are doing and adjust fire from there. You're basically playing a person in charge of an AI army, more or less. So, let's go ahead and get started. And the first thing you're going to see are a list of maps that we have available right now. More will be added in time, but this is what we have available right now. So what will happen is if you click on just this little area here, is it will bring up a map. And this is, pretty self-explanatory. It's a map of this particular AO, and you can zoom. All the grids are there, and you can place icons. There's 150 different ones, probably a little bit more, and they're all directly from Arma 2. So we can use the same icons we use in game as we do here at the same time. So this is, it's pretty simple. Kind of let everybody keep track of everybody else, kind of like a Blue Force tracker or, like a TOC, like a real tactical operations center where HQ elements track movements on the ground and coordinate and stuff like that. So what we'll hop into next is Blue Force Connect, and that's where your command and other elements will essentially communicate with each other and update and things of that nature. Alright, now what we have on this page, obviously a different map. Has some icons on it, a little bit different, so I'm going to kind of show you those real quick. And then, this is what you'll more or less see as these missions and operations and stuff like that go on. And what will happen is if you click on labels here, you get labels. Big surprise. You'll see, like, Def Group Team 1's 0900, for whatever time they may have inserted, exfilled, whatever. These are just examples, I've got up here. And then you'll see markers, different NATO markers even, different color markers. And if you click on one of these icons, you'll actually get a little bit more info. And that's pretty much the extent of that. It's just a map with icons on it at this point. So a good way to keep ourselves updated. And again, I'll update the menu itself with a link to this particular section rather, so people can keep track of the unit's progress. Even if they may be outside of the unit, just so the public can see what's going on as well and kind of track things. It's like a cool little side feature basically. So moving down here, this is where everything kind of gets logged. Different requests will kind of float around and other things. So we'll just kind of go through and explain those things. Quick breakdown right here is the talk. We're going to use this interface to track the progress of units operating in the theater and provide updates to the current situation and any relevant intel, obviously. So objectives. These are going to be placed by game masters, mission designers, people like that, and we'll give units a no later than date to actually go in and complete this mission. That way they can schedule it, flexible to when, they can all be online at a single time. That way we're not constrained to, everybody has to be here Sunday at 2 p.m. or whatever. That's how those will work. There's not going to be here this day and it's knocked out. Again, missions can also take place over a few different days. You might be deployed in the field and you will have a set of objectives that will take more than one mission to do. And it's going to be up to your commander and command to basically do that progress. You'll have a time hack on it. So you're going to have to complete it before a certain, time limit expires, or else you'll face negative consequences. And the situation will update accordingly to the decisions you make or don't make on the ground, and it will cause, various different outcomes and stuff like that. So that's how that will work in terms of objectives and things of that nature. So continuing forward, Intel analysts will kind of go in here and hint as to locations of, suspected, like target locations, intel locations where we could find more intelligence, as well as areas of interest, high-profile individuals, high-value targets. Sky's the limit. Intel is Intel, is Intel. So that's where all that stuff's going to go, and it'll kind of guide the story as well, in a sense, and kind of keep these units guessing and kind of keep them on their toes, and have to force them to go out, do recon, and figure this kind of stuff out, so we can get more intel to send in, units to, do whatever we need to do. And then, kind of moving down, we have sit reps. And situation reports are used at the unit command level, and what will happen is anytime you spend in the theater, in the game, on the campaign server, it has to be logged. Failing to log these things can result in mission failure due to the fact that it's critical for mission progression, persistent location saving. So if you disconnect from the server, you need to mark your location, because that will be the spot you will start from on your next mission when you enter the AO with the ammo that you had previous. Like, you're only going to be able to use LEA like on the very first mission, just to get your initial kit. And if you're out in the field like for an extended period of time, you will update your command with an ace report of what your fire team or squad or what you have, and that way they can compile it, and then the mission designers can in turn go and adjust what you will have on your person the next time around. So that's how that's going to work in terms of persistence. Also, if you are on a multi-day mission where you lose somebody goes down, you will have to medevac him, and he will not be able to return to the front unless you put in a logistics and support request for reinforcements or to get additional personnel. Or if you return to the rear, you can also kind of regroup and then reinsert, and then kind of readjust fire from there, essentially. So that will also kind of come into play. But I'll explain this a little bit more in just a second. Now, continuing on the sit rep subject, rapid deployment missions will be your quick, short notice, has to be done real quick type missions. And they can take place pretty much anywhere. Geographically dispersed, it could be on the other side of the world, and it could happen at any time, or it could be in the current theater or around the corner. So, I mean, sky's the limit. Again, you could be anywhere in the world, even not on a rapid deployment mission. But that's just an example. I mean, these things are going to be real quick, short notice, and you got to act fast, kind of thing. So, Task force missions are when you coordinate with other units. If it's multiple units working together, it's considered a task force. And you will, appoint a task force commander to basically oversee the entire option, and he will log whatever sit rep, whatever movement, whatever action was involved in the game at the time. It'll get put up and logged, and then, again, our high-speed mission designers, our intel analysts, and stuff like that will go ahead and adjust fire from there and, kind of alter the campaign accordingly and continue that progressive storyline that we have going that, kind of builds off itself over time. And then again, touching back to, the logistics and support area. Now, what this is going to be used for is how I mentioned how, you'll have set amount of equipment in the field. Like, you take what you need, and that's what you have out there. So you better pack, you better, plan ahead. And this will also be used for, like support requests, like for resupply. You call in the flyboys, like 168th, any kind of, fixed wing flight, whatever, and they drop some stuff off to you. But, certain requirements have to be set. Like, you have to be in a position where you can do that. You can grab that. The other unit has to agree to it. Like, there has to be no AA in the area, or else, you're going to lose a bird. And again, that will negatively impact the missions and follow on things. And then you'll be left without ammo. And there'll be a propensity not to have another bird for a while due to the fact that you already lost one. So all that stuff will have, consequences. Every action will have a reaction in kind. So, this is going to be very critical for battlefield commanders to, kind of, think about what they do before they do it. And, like a lot of planning will go into this. So, there's a lot more depth, a lot more strategy involved, and, a lot more immersion, hopefully, because that's, ultimately really the goal here. Also, touching on that kind of stuff, you will have the freedom in the field to do what you see necessary to accomplish whatever objectives you may have, objectives of opportunity, things of that nature, as long as it falls in line with the ROE. Like, if you go cowboy all the time and you're not supposed to, I mean, it'll obviously have negative consequences. But, if it's all good, the ROE is, clear for that kind of stuff, no problem. That's extra stuff we can use. And even better, the situation will unfold in a positive aspect, and we will be able to, proceed from there ultimately. So that's pretty much in a nutshell. If anybody has any questions, please direct it to your unit command. I will continue to put more tutorials out, kind of better explaining it as the process evolves and what the other projects we have in the work here at J3 and J2. Like I said, I will kind of come with more details and other things, kind of pertinent to this entire campaign system and how it's going to work. Ultimately, I'd like to see us doing campaigns more than I see people pubbing. This is what format we need to be doing here, in my opinion. And, continuing forward. But in any case, thanks for watching, listening, and you guys arrange on. Demon 6 out.